Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Hardcore Dave.
This is episode 9 of the Final Reckoning Challenge season. I don't even know what it's called, but we're going to go by this by 5 points, 5 stories, right? Episode 9, and then we're going to cover episode 10. But here we go. We're actually going to go through stopbeingpolite.com, which is provided by The Futures Michael.
Great website. Fucking check it out.
Yeah.
I love it. The articles on there are great.
Yeah. They're serviceable. But I find myself going there a lot.
I have it bookmarked on my iPhone. Like, when I'm bored, I'll be like, I wonder if there's a new article up. I might check it out. I go check it out every week.
Oh, shit. All right. Take it back. The Futures Michael, he sums up episode 9 in 5 basic topics. And he calls it, number 1, New Beginnings. And this is all about CT apologizing to Veronica. Do you remember this?
Yeah. So CT comes up to Veronica and he's like, I feel like my tactics for motivation haven't been correct. What is the proper way I can approach you in order to get you, in order to motivate you? Because Veronica's kind of been a crappy teammate. She's not in shape. She never works out. And he's trying to kind of mend the relationship, because ever since they got into the Redemption House, CT is just ripped into her.
Yeah.
And really knocked her down about how bad of a partner she is.
Now he feels bad. He's like, she never betrayed me. She never fucking, killed my dog, whatever, never wanted to get revenge on her, John Wick style. You know what I mean? She's just a bad teammate, And then the Cranberries is playing, remember?
Yeah, it was great.
That was so weird. But anyways, this whole thing is written down, and I thought it was significant at the time, but let's just say, spoiler alert, they don't get a chance at fighting their way out of redemption.
Yeah.
So this big chunk of the episode, this number 1 topic provided by the Futures Michael, it's like, what was the point? You know what I mean? Like, I was rooting for them. I wanted them to work out. But they won't in the end. They will just be dismissed because Jose and Devon, spoilers again, don't want to go against them. So it's interesting to look back. And now that they're gone, well, I mean, we're jumping forward, holy shit, by a lot.
That's all right.
It's still sad because CT and Veronica should have been.
It sucks because CT, he just won, Champs versus Stars with Tony.
2 in a row now.
Yeah. CT's awesome. Veronica, not a good teammate. She's athletically, she just can't hang in there anymore like she used to. And, they're a team of 2 veterans. There's not a whole lot of teams out there. I'm kind of struggling to even think of one other team that has 2 veterans, because some teams have a veteran, but they don't have 2 veterans. Because you have, Shane and Nelson. Shane is a veteran. Nelson's more of a newer person.
Yeah.
Same with Cara Maria and Marie. Cara Maria is a veteran. Marie is more recent.
Brad Kyle, not the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. So to have this veteran, we're both fans. We've watched them through the years. We really kind of wanted it to work out, and it definitely didn't.
No.
And it sucks. And it sucks to see CT go, because he's such a fucking phenomenal competitor. And it happens in every season where there are partners. People get screwed over with who they're paired with. Every time.
No.
It's happened to tons of people. It's never happened to Bananas. He's always had a good partner. But it's happened to people, like Sarah, when Sarah was with Caitlyn. It happened with Cara Maria. I'm thinking of Sarah again. With Vinny. But it always happens. There's teams every year where you're in partners and you just get the short end of the stick.
Not to be an asshole or whatever, but Vinny technically wasn't a physically bad partner. He was just a pervert. Remember?
Yeah.
He stripped man. excuse for a shirt off her chest, and we all applauded, yet had to shun him. Like, oh no, that wasn't right technically. What is porn? Like, I don't look at women's
Vinny
breasts.
he dances like a white guy on the dance floor, right? So Vinny, his hand movements are a little sloppy. It's mistakes are made.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. So this is that's fine. Yeah, moving on.
Moving on. Sorry, CT and Veronica. Nice to know ya. Maybe next year.
Well, I mean, they'll come up in conversation for the next episode. They're not done yet, but they're basically fucking done, right? All right, number 2, Burnt Out. Once again, the secret votes are Burn Central. And this is basically just to talk about Zach and Amanda, because everyone is burning each other. It's a mutual burn. But it's Zach and Amanda. They have this great conversation where Zach is like, well, I can't vote for Bananas and Kyle. And Amanda's like, well, I can't burn my lavender ladies, or lavender whores, as Zach fucking says, But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that Zach and Amanda have a legit mutual appreciation for each other. It's a true team. It's because like it reminds me a little bit of when Wes and Nani were together, and Wes was like, what do you want to do? He wasn't trying to say like, fuck off, Nani, we're doing this. Same thing with Zach and Amanda. They're actually trying to really work with each other.
Yeah, they obviously don't like each other. They don't like the people that the other person is associated with. But at the end of the day, they're like, hey, we're teammates. We have to make this work.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting going forward with Zach and Amanda, because they both are aligned with so many people in the house that they're going to end up voting in some of those people and going after them. And in the next couple episodes, we're going to start seeing who they're going to go after. And that's what I'm excited for. We're talking about episode 9. We're not talking about episode 10.
Right. It's hard not to mention what happens in the future, yeah. Well, we can a little bit, because we did with CT and Veronica. So in the future, though, during that present time, when they're saying this shit, their main target is like Jose and Devon. They're rookies. That's an easy vote, and we voted them in before. So
yeah, they did like the very first episode when they were like digging their partners out of the grave. They're like, Devon, Jose, we don't know you. We have no allegiance to you, so we're sending you in.
Yeah,
and when it's something that won't ruffle any feathers, you're gonna kind of repeat it because you're like, hey, we don't want to piss anybody else off.
Yeah,
and we can see that like Amanda doesn't like Cara Maria. They don't get along at all. And this is from episode 10.
Yeah.
And Zach and Cara Maria, they're both vets. They've known each other, and they seem to have somewhat of a friendship.
They're Boston strong together. I believe Zach is from Boston. That's my big hunch.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but eventually, I really feel like, even though Zach is being nice to Cara Maria, I think he knows full well that eventually he's going to have to send her in and vote for her at some point. Because I feel like Zach has other greater, stronger alliances that he wouldn't want to turn against.
Mm. Yeah, because I think he really is trying to work with Amanda, which is very interesting, because I've always pegged Zach as a fucking woman hater, like legit, because of all the things that he's done and things that he's said. But he is listening to his partner, who is a woman.
Yes. So
who
he's
has
proving you wrong.
He has. And that
and
was
he's in love with Jenna, and I'm in love with Jenna. So, like, me and Zach are like Eskimo brothers, but not really. Jenna's my favorite challenger of all time. Zach is, dating Jenna, and I allow it, because I'm a nice guy.
That's too nice.
But I have respect for Zach because of that. And I'm a fan of Zach. I know you're not, but I love Zach. Yeah. I think he's funny. I think he's just like, that macho meathead guy, but he has a good sense of humor about it.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, we're going to jump ahead a little bit more. once again, you know, we, before we even recorded, I was like, "Ah, fucking, I hate Zach because like he's always looking down." Like I said, like, if you really pay attention to the show, Zach is giving us nothing. He's always looking down whenever he says announces anything or when
Like anytime TJ shows up and
Yeah.
the entire house is sitting around in a group and they're gonna say something, Zach just offers nothing to the camera.
Yes. And then I'm saying all this, and this is before I watched episode 10. And episode 10 comes around, and I'm like, oh my god, like he's putting forth effort. He's actually doing shit. Like he is making me laugh, you know, like he's doing all this stuff. So I'm like, ah, fuck. All right, they're just gonna have a field
He's
day
talking
with
about
this.
Jose and Devon, and he's like, I feel like there are a couple of cockroaches, and I've been spraying them, and they just won't go away. And there's some other lines, and
I was gonna say, of all the lines, you use that. I'm like, that's pretty typical. I mean, we all know that cockroaches don't die or whatever, even a nuclear blast. But anyways, let's move on though. Let's move on to number 3, Armageddon Conundrum. I like this.
ooh,
this word.
conundrum.
Okay, so due to all the burn votes, there's a 3-way tie: Joss and Sylvia, Cam and Kaylee, and Jose and Devon. They all have 2 votes. So now it's all up to Zach and Amanda to decide who goes in.
Yeah, and this is obviously the flaw with all the burn votes, because everyone just kind of cancels each other out. You know, Brad and Kyle voted for who the fuck did they vote for? I don't even remember. It was not Zach and Amanda. It was probably Joss and Sylvia and Brad and Kyle. They worked together, but then I think it was Nelson and Shane ended up voting also for Joss and Sylvia, which gave them a second vote. And then the power vote from Zach and Amanda went to Jose and Devon, giving them 2 votes because Zach and Amanda's vote counts for 2 because they were anointed the team lead or whatever that's
Right.
called. And then Cam and Kaylee, they got a vote from Johnny Bananas and Tony, and then I'm forgetting the other team.
One of their friends. Like they went according to plan. It's just Johnny Bananas and Tony threw a wrench in the
Yeah.
gears, got them nominated. Yeah, and then the Jose Devon, those.
So it's all of this burn voting. It's not very smart. You really just need to be like, hey, we're going to vote in a team, and we're going to get our other alliance members to vote in this team, and we're going to say, hey, we're voting for them because they're the weakest team, and if they want to pick us in the elimination, that's fine because we're going to beat them. And especially, like, you still have weak teams out there. There are definitely teams that you match up well against. When you have a team like Jose and Devon, Jose has shown time and time again that he is not a good competitor. If you watched him on Champs vs. Stars, he was very unimpressive. Like, he can't swim. He's very uncoordinated.
Right.
Like, everybody should be voting for him in. Right?
Yeah, totally true. It's just that no one wants to go in there. No one wants to do that. Like,
Nobody even wants to take the chance.
No, it's, Cam said it that it was, or pointed out that it was all fear-based. Everyone wanted to just like, okay, we're going to burn on someone that no one is going to... The burn vote in Origin or whatever is a... What did Jose say? Pussy vote or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so it comes down to those 3 people that were nominated by the 2 or whatever. And when it comes to Zach and Amanda, they're like, okay, everyone knows this. It's Jose and Devon going in. And so that brings us to number 4, tanking. And this is think tanks. This is... How cold was it? Like, people not even participating were already, like, shivering and shit, you know? And then Jose and Devon, they're like, oh my god, we gotta do this shit. It's basically water torture. Let's go against not Shane and Nelson, which they both discussed as the biggest possibility.
Huge rivals.
Yeah.
Like the team they fucking hate. But rather than go against the team they hate and they already have a rivalry with, they're like, hey, let's start a new rivalry and pick a different team.
Cam and Kaylee.
Yeah.
Called them in. it's a girl team. I'm not trying to say anything about like, guys are better than girls or whatever. But Jose is like, I don't want to go against two dudes. I don't want to go against Shane and Nelson. Let's go against Cam and Kaylee.
Didn't he choose to go against is it Faith and Angela or a different girl team?
Something like that?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Because it didn't even make sense that he would do it, when he first got sent into the Redemption House.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Or maybe it was coming out. But it was... Jose kind of has a thing where it's like, oh, he ends up picking a team that you didn't really think he was going to pick. And it's like, he's just trying to go at a team that he thinks he can beat. And then he kind of dodges the direct question of why he picked that team, other than, well, this is the reason. He gives a reason, but it doesn't really hold a lot of merit to it, because Shane and Nelson, that's your rival team. This is Vendettas, or Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
Well, you should be going after your vendetta. That's what I want to see. I want to see the teams that hate each other the most go against each other. But Jose is not doing that. He's not going against the team he hates the most. He's going against the team he thinks he can beat. But obviously we see that he can't beat them, and they fail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. I do see where he's coming from, though. Perhaps he doesn't have the same faith in himself as he continues to say that he does. I remember him telling Devon, hey, we're both good in elimination, right? So we could take on Shane and Nelson. But I don't know, without even consulting Devon, he says Cam and Kaylee, right? It's shocked. You could tell, even Devon was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. You are a crazy dude, but all right, we're gonna do whatever, do whatever it takes.
And that's the weird thing, is when you have partners and they make a choice, it's always just one of the teammates just making a decision, saying a name, and the other person being like, I had no part of this. It's like, well, then why didn't you say something first? Yeah. Basically, when you're a team of two and you have to pick a team, it's basically whoever just says somebody first to TJ, that's who it is. Because the partner almost never agrees with it.
Yeah, that is crazy. You just have to say it first.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. All right, well, let me ask you, did you like the fact that it was super cold and then they got dipped in water for 45 minutes straight?
I mean, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal that they'd be dunked in that water in that cold weather. And it's not just the fact they're dumped in water. It's the fact that tank was 5 or 6 feet deep. Your entire body goes into it. Maybe 6 or 7 feet deep. And it's up to your partner. You're connected on a fucking pulley, and they have to go down their ladder away from the puzzle to pull you up, and then they have to climb up to put you back down. But the thing is I'm surprised nobody freaking drowned here, because you see, who was it? Devon is in there underwater holding her nose, and she's been in there a long time, and Sylvia is even screaming she's been down there. Jose, you need to let her come up and breathe. Yeah, she's kicking her feet. She can't do anything. She's holding her breath, and you're taking faith in your partner's hand that they're gonna go down, drop down from that ladder, and let you breathe.
Faith wasn't part of No, I was kidding. I was gonna say
Devon, didn't I?
No, the fact that you said Faith.
Oh.
I was just
Devon was taking it on faith.
Yeah. Anyways, no, it was interesting because it went on for 45 minutes. TJ says all right, hey, I have authority here. Fucking white man speaking here.
Wow, let's take a strange turn.
It's fucking cold out here. Well, and that's the main thing I want to focus on. The fact that he came up and he's like, it's fucking cold out here. Everyone knows, TJ. Everyone can clearly see people shivering in the crowd. The people that just watching the act shivering. You know what I mean? We fucking know it's cold. So the fact that TJ swears, oh my god, edgy ass TJ. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't like TJ interjecting his opinion on this.
Him
Especially
saying
when we
it's
already
cold
know.
is not his opinion. It's a fact.
But we all know it's cold, and he says like, "Oh, it's fucking cold out here." You gonna say that to the because what he was saying was like, "Hey, it's been 45 minutes. It's fucking cold out here." Like, who are you to complain?
He's not complaining.
But he's saying, why do you come out and say, "Hey, let's finish this up. It's been 45 minutes. It's fucking cold out here." There's no need to say it. What he should have said was like, "Hey, you guys have been going through hell for 45 solid minutes. I can't stand to see you guys going through this anymore."
See, that would be confusing because hell is hot and they're really cold.
Isn't there a thing about when hell freezes over? Let's jump to that time frame.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh my god, hell is frozen over and this is as cold as hell."
I think it's okay for him to say that it's fucking cold because if you watch a UFC fight and somebody hits some guy with a right hand, the announcers are still going to say, "Oh, he hit him with the right hand." It's like, yeah, we all saw it, but it's their job to say it as the reasoning for, yes, we need to wrap this up. You guys got 5 minutes. Then whoever has the most puzzle pieces, they win.
Yeah. This is needless argument.
I
I realize
you're
that.
just trying to rip TJ, and there are plenty of opportunities to rip TJ. This is not one of them, though.
All right.
Just wait for next episode. I'm sure there'll be a good opportunity.
All right, so finally, TJ does say, he's like, "Okay, we're going to go with whoever's the most correct within those 4 minutes or whatever." So then I guess Jose and Devon got 6 wrong, and then
Cam and Kaylee got 3?
3 to 4 wrong, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I'm like, that is so confusing. Maybe you got 4 wrong and only 2 right. Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Just the way that they presented it, you know what I mean? It just threw me off. I'm like, what does that mean? So that means that
Well, they should have just
they
said,
both got 10 right?
if
but
there's
then-
25 puzzle pieces, they should have been like, so-and-so, like Jose and Devon, you got 19 correct. Cam and Kaylee, you got 22 correct.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go. Yeah.
Because at least then the higher number is the better number, but instead they kind of reversed it and made incorrect. I don't know. That's kind of nitpicking in the scoring. I don't know. It's a challenge. I'm over it. It's like trying to understand the rules to the games. Like a lot of times TJ is telling the rules to the game, and we even saw it in this episode. He's describing the rules to the game. Then they cut to some other audio, and you can still see him telling the rules of the game, but we're not hearing what he's saying, and we're like, okay, there's more rules to the game, but you're not letting us in on them. And ultimately, I'm just like, well, whatever. I'm going to watch this challenge, and I'll figure out the rules as I go.
Yeah.
Because even, like, with the pulleys and them, like, going down, and, like, when you go down, like, how that all works, so, like, when they're able to breathe and when you're able to put the puzzle pieces up, you're kind of just watching a mishmash. Because when they show these eliminations and these missions, it's just like smash cut, like back and forth on all this action that's going on. None of it's really in real time. It's all been like condensed down, and you're not really sure how much time is passing. You have no awareness of really like when any of this took place. Like when something crazy is going on, it was like, is this right away? Is this like 20 minutes in? Like we don't really know any of it. We're kind of just trying to piece it together as it goes along, and that's just part of the challenge, and it's annoying.
Queen Cam wins, right?
Kill a Cam.
Her and Kaylee win.
Devon will not call her Queen Cam.
Oh, that was great. That was perfect.
Wasn't that a great line? When Jose is like, Queen Cam, blah, 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 and I will not call her Queen.
Yeah.
That was a great line by Devon.
I
Devon
like-
is awesome. I really like her.
Yes. She is great. Let's cut to the immediately afterwards that Cam and Kaylee win. Jose and Devon realize that they have to go to the Redemption House. They're actually in the ambulance, I think.
Yeah, because
Covered in blankets.
Kaylee and Devon, who were both dunked in the water. I don't know how Jose and Cam talked their partners into going into the water, but good for them because they didn't have to do it.
Jose said that he couldn't swim. And I'm thinking, you're on a rope. You don't have to swim. You're getting dunked.
You just have to hold your breath.
But again, holding breath
survive
is a big
hypothermia.
part of swimming, right? That's a huge part of swimming, right?
Not really.
No?
It's just timing when you take a breath.
I
When you swim, you just have to time your breathing. Like, I'm going to breathe when my face is not under the water.
Right. But I just assume if you don't swim and you're in the water, it's just foreign. It's scary. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you're a xenophobe. You're just like, well, Europe. Oh, my God. Or Asia, you know.
What? I don't know what happened. What are we talking about?
But and then who goes in there? Kaylee goes into the water, which I was like, props to you. I assumed Cam would go in the puzzle, come up and say like, Kaylee, listen to me. It's white stripes, red, white, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed Kaylee or Cam would have been dunked. Yeah, for sure. Either way,
Killer Cam's got a couple of buoys that would hold her above the water, so she can't quite sink under the water. And Kaylee, as much as I don't know, they're like Kaylee is a gamer. Like she does not give a shit. Like she goes for it. Like we've seen this, but we've never quite acknowledged it. And I think like this is a good opportunity to like give Kaylee a small round of applause for being like a good fucking partner, doing an awesome job. Like, taking the toughest part of this elimination by far, going into the water, like, she did awesome. Like, good for Kaylee. Like, Cam, she's a proven commodity at this point. Like, she's undefeated in eliminations. Like, it's almost to be expected. So, like, I'm sorry, Cam.
Technically, she was eliminated in Champs vs. Stars by Brooke Hogan. Right?
Yeah.
WWE royalty, right?
Well, her father's WWE royalty.
Yeah, but like, I mean, you're born into royalty. Like, if she ever showed up and wanted to take the belt from Charlotte,
Vince McMahon would book that on WrestleMania.
Right?
Oh yeah. No training needed. All right, just show up. Yeah. But I guess for Cam, she did well, but that's kind of what we expect for her. Kaylee, we expect her to be like the weak link of that team, but she really wasn't. She did great.
In the back of the ambulance, trying to warm up, trying to fight back hypothermia. Cam has Kaylee, and Jose and Devon are right there. And she's like, oh my God, you did so well. I'm not Killer Cam right now. I'm just Cam. You did so well.
You're Killer Kaylee.
Then she looks over to Jose and she's like, so you just wanted to, freeze us to death? You wanted to see Kaylee freeze in that water for 45 fucking minutes? And right away I'm like, it wasn't them. It was producers that want to see you guys freeze for 45 fucking minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't come up with the game.
Yeah, exactly. And Jose is like I don't even know what he says, but Cam keeps on asking, so did you feel like we were the weakest team? She just kept on going on and on.
She's like, why did you pick us?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be easy? Do you hate us? Or did you have no reason? Just say you have no reason. Like, is the worst possible time. Like, Cam should have just kept her mouth shut and just take care of your partner because your partner's in a lot of pain right now. That was a brutal elimination.
Yeah.
And basically, the reason that Devon and Kaylee were so freaking frozen was because Jose and Cam was like, hey, I think my partner should go in the water, not me. So you're part of the reason that your partner is freezing right now.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. But finally,
Devon was just like, we do not need to be arguing about this right now. I'm done with this. And she just walked off.
Yeah, she basically says, hey, fucking stop talking about the game for a second, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what Cam and there's other players that just, once they join the challenge, it feels like they've always been here. You know, they fit in just perfectly because they have passion for the challenge. They think politically. They think elimination-wise, all that shit, right? But sometimes when it comes to that, it's when things don't go their way or when they're called out.
Everything's personal to them.
Everything's so fucking personal. For sure. Yeah. So that was super annoying. It was kind of an eye-opener where I'm like, yeah, Cam, come on. Fucking lay off a little bit or whatever. I mean, you were eliminated by Brooke Hogan. You know, who the fuck is she? Oh, wait. No, I was talking her up earlier. Never mind.
She's awesome.
WWE royalty.
Hit her with a leg drop. Push her right out of the fucking ring.
All right. Number 5 of episode 9. Returned and crossed. So, Jose and Devon, they return back to the house. And he's like, okay, so, like they were voting a pussy way or something. A pussy vote. And Tori's like, oh, can you say it one more time? Right now. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, she's fucking really, like, chill, like, harshing everyone's chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Jose and Devon show up. Yeah. Everyone's drinking. And they're all like, oh, shit, we got new people in the Redemption House. And Tori just flips a switch on Jose because Jose had voted for her. Mm-hmm. And then she ended up getting sent home. And
how could she forget the fact that Cara Maria not voting for Jose and Devon? Wasn't it that? Yeah. Wasn't it Tori and Derek voted into elimination because Cara Maria didn't vote in Jose and Devon instead?
Yeah, because Cara Maria voted for Kyle and Brad because Cara was still hung up on Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. So Tori still looks terrible in this whole situation where she's like, fuck you. And she's just like shouting all this stuff. She storms upstairs. Yeah. You know? And the whole time Jose is like, whoa, let me just explain. Like Shane tried to play us against you or whatever. And then Tori says, what does she say? She says, I was trying to save you too. And then it cuts to scenes of her saying, we got to throw in Angela and Faith. Well, then shout that out as well, Tori. Say like, hey, Angela and Faith, who are also in this house,
I try to get rid.
Yeah. I try to get rid of you. So I don't know. The whole thing, it doesn't make her look that great. You know, like I understand that she's pissed. I understand that she's hot. Like, you know what I mean. But like, she's not in the right. She comes off like Cam. Mm-hmm. She comes off as Cara Maria. Bananas. The people that feel like
entitled and totally butthurt over anyone who voted for them. It's like it's a game. Everyone has to vote a certain way. Some of it's personal and some of it isn't. And not everyone can really recognize what's personal and what's not. Some of it's kind of just like, well, these people are my alliance, so I have to vote for someone who's not in my alliance, so I'm going with that team.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to it other than I don't know where their vote is going. They're not on my side, so I'm just going to vote for them.
Exactly. I don't know. And that was the great thing that Jose was trying to say hey, this is how things went down. And the entire time Devon is sitting there like, you're once again taking this too seriously. Like, if you want to get mad or whatever. Like, I don't know. I really like Devon in this episode. Well, no. A little bit in this episode. I'll like her a lot more later on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into the double cross. At the end of this episode, it's between Tori and Derek, CT, Veronica, all these people that we've come to know at this point. 3 of them are going to leave. Angela and Faith, Jose and Devon, and
Natalie and Polly.
Natalie and Polly. Yeah.
My favorite team.
Why?
Because Natalie's super hot.
Oh my God! He just gestured to his own chest.
No,
oh my God!
No, I didn't. There's just 2 of the reasons I like her.
Yeah. All right. So at the end of this episode, everyone tries to draw the double cross. No one does it. It's just Jose and Devon at the end, and this is what characterized Jose for me. Because his premiere episode was not on a regular season. It was Champs versus Stars of all things. And I remember he shows up and I'm like, why? What makes you a star when Natalie from Big Brother as well had her premiere on a regular season. You know what I mean? You gotta wow me. Which he didn't physically. It's just that he was one of the luckiest sons of bitches ever.
Oh yeah.
Every twist.
No one could believe how far he got on Champs versus Stars.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he was like the 5th team from the end or something like that. It was crazy how far he got in that game, even though he was incredible. And he was really just like the not the burn vote, but like the layup. He was the layup in that season where they're like, well, anyone can beat this guy, so we don't need to send him in right now. We'll just let him tag along because if you're in a final with him, it's an easy win.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how Jose got that far in that season. And on this season, he's gotten sent in to Redemption House because he's not any good. And then he came back, and then...
Yeah, this is his second tour of Redemption House.
Yeah. He's got a fucking horseshoe up his ass. He's super lucky. And, like, I like Jose's personality.
Yeah.
I think he's fun. He's entertaining. He's probably getting a little too much screen time, to be honest. And I don't like the fact that there's, like, basically episode 9 and episode 10 were almost, like, centric around Jose. But I do like Devon, his partner.
Yeah.
He's entertaining enough, but he's not a good competitor, and he's not a threat to win anything in the end. Like, if he gets to a final, he's getting last place, and there's just no doubt about it.
For sure. But, yeah, that was the end of episode 9, right?
Yep.
Let's move on to episode 10. All right, so continuing on to episode 10 with The Future is Michael. Number 1, Chocolate Temptation. Right?
Yeah, we see, for the Redemption House, they end up going out to the bar, and this is, Jose and Devon have pulled the double cross, so they're able to choose the team they want to go against in an elimination, and the winner will go back into the main house, the rest of the teams go home, so all of the teams are trying to vie for that spot to be able to go against Jose and Devon, so they kind of need to butter them up a little bit. And
don't you mean politicking? Which is
god,
a word that should be retired, right?
It's funny if you hear that term once.
Should be hung.
Yeah, but they need to hang that jersey up in the rafters and forget about it because they overused that term so many times this episode that it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Derek and Devon. Derek starts flirting with Devon. We see them on the dance floor, and it's not just Derek flirting. Devon was, shoving her ass, into Derek's crotch on the dance floor. But then afterwards, Derek starts to try and flirt with her and talk with her a little bit, and Devon wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, she just kind of, laughed and said, oh, no. Maybe try again some other time or better or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's just our chocolate universes are not going to collide or some shit like that. It was pretty funny. And, typical Devon fashion, she made it entertaining.
Devon is great because she recognizes game. And she's willing to just step aside and say, who gives a fuck about the challenge? Let's be real here. You guys are putting on all these personas, trying to push people and whatever, trying to be sneaky and stuff. She's like, I'm aware of all this stuff. There's no way to fool me and stuff like that. So it's great. So she laughs at Derek's face. Derek whimpers off. He's like, God damn it. Let me just think back when I had Tori and when I had Angela. Angela.
Yeah, those days are long gone because all I've seen of Derek is him just trying and failing with chicks. He's entering Nelson territory at this point, trying and failing with chicks.
CT tries to pull the fucking trick in Polidic, and he throws on what was that? A muscle? It looked like the muscle bodysuit from Arrested Development. Remember Michael Cera wears that muscle bodysuit?
But that was more of puffed David. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of puffed up and filled with cotton or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, CT, he was asking Jose, he's like, what's your type of guy?
Yeah.
He's like, well, that I'm interested in. He's like, tall, muscular, handsome, basically describing CT. But then he realizes that, oh, CT is just trying to politic him, like Veronica or somebody else in the room, like, gives him a hint. And he's like, oh, I see what's going on. And I was like, anybody else recognize that he just described CT? As CT is, like, laying on the couch, like, sticking his ass out towards Jose and looking back over his shoulder at him.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And then he had that crazy t-shirt, the muscle tee. It was CT being hilarious, being funny and awesome.
But also reminding us that he no longer looks like the Adonis that we've come to know for years. You know, like he was a meathead. He was in crazy shape. He reminded me of a real life Wolverine. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
he used to look like Joss, but now he's got a dad bod.
yeah, and we've accepted it. We've been okay with it because he has won.
We've seen it
Yeah.
for like 4 or 5 years now, but he's still been winning even with the dad bod.
Yeah.
He's not ripped anymore.
So it was very bizarre. Where I'm like, God damn it! Everything about this season for CT is reminding us of what was, but not anymore. Because I mean, it's not true, but that's how it feels like. Like he's not shredded anymore. You know, and he's not gonna win anymore because he's with Veronica. You know, like she is not Veronica anymore. The one that I fucking watched back in the day, where she was like a fucking goddamn bitch, but like hot. Well, she's still both those things. It's totally possible. But she had political pull.
Oh yeah, she was a political mastermind.
Yeah.
Like with the voting process.
Yeah.
Like she understood that voting process before a lot. Like nowadays, everyone kind of understands the voting process and is fairly, accurate in their assessment and how they're going to vote. Back in the day, it was kind of new, and Veronica was ahead of the curve with that. Plus, she was a great competitor in missions
Yes.
and in eliminations. Like, she was a beast. And the Veronica we see now is nothing like that. It's a completely different person. It's like Henan Barrow before the TJ Dillashaw fight and after. Completely different competitors.
Well,
That's a deep cut right there. But
yes. Even if you're not a UFC fan, I mean, okay, you're not a UFC fan, and you're just like, who the fuck is that? But I am a UFC fan, and I still have never seen that fight. I understand that Henan Barrow was
they fought
great
twice.
and
You haven't
fought-
seen any
no,
of them?
No, neither.
Ah, they had a
Sorry.
rematch.
Yeah, I gotta get there. But yeah.
All right,
But-
well, we're gonna watch that after this.
Number 2, libraries open, read. So this is the time when the 5 teams from Redemption show up, and before TJ says anything, he's like, okay, the person that drew the double cross was, and then Jose's like, hold on, I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce made the best music video of all time, and Taylor Swift was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Okay, I just interjected an MTV award show historical moment. I'm sorry. But that's when Kanye West went up and said, after they said Taylor Swift won best music video, that's when Kanye West walked up and said, like, no, I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor Swift, but Beyonce made the greatest music video of all time with Single Ladies. I felt like that should have been shared on my podcast for some reason. Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the effort by Kanye West when he did that, but to be honest, Beyonce did not have the greatest album. She had the greatest single. Her album kind of sucked.
No. His argument was that she had the best music video of all time. And the fact that she lost to Taylor Swift in her music video, well, there you go.
Wow.
But who gives a shit? It's MTV Music Video Award.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
no merit behind it. It's just like, well, hey, did you win last year? Well, we can't let the same person win 2 years in a row. We'll let somebody else win. That's how award shows work. All award shows are basically fake and bullshit and stupid. Like, just because someone wins doesn't necessarily mean they're the best.
Or the
Like-
Oscars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm so sorry to bring that up, But the
Remember
point
when
was,
Goodfellas won Best Picture? No, me neither. Even though it's the fucking greatest movie of all time.
it lost
Goodfellas
to Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Kevin Costner. Oh, he's so wonderful. It's a fucking disrespectful movie.
All right. Anyways, I am so sorry to bring that up because what I meant to say was TJ was about to say like, "Hey, Jose and Devon pulled the X," but Jose cuts him off and says, "Hey, guess what? This is a library, so everybody read." And apparently that means air your grievances.
Yeah, it's like a clever way of saying like, all right, library, listen up, like read, you know. It's like, hey, everyone over there who's in the main house, listen to what we have to say. And this is fucking stupid to me on so many levels because you're all in the redemption house. So nobody gives a shit because you're not in the real house and you're not in the real competition yet.
Yeah.
The only people
Yeah.
who really matter are the people in the real house. The redemption house is basically like you're kicked off of the show, but maybe there's going to be one team of you that's actually going to make it back. But basically, whoever makes it back, there's a huge target on your back, and you're just going to get sent back in again.
Yeah.
If we've learned anything from history.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even care. Like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of lame. It was kind of stupid. And even, like, so Jose, I think he says a little bit shit. Natalie says some shit to Cam. And then TJ is just like, oh my god, are we done here? Like, seriously. Like, even TJ didn't give a shit. He's like, moving on, let's get on to the fucking who you're going to choose. We want to see. Because Jose and Devon, they're going to choose one of the other teams from the Redemption House. And whoever they go against, whoever wins that, will go back into the main house. And, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about how this is set up in this game and how it's super flawed. So Devon and Jose pull that double cross. That gives them the ability to choose who they're going to go against, and the winner of that will go back into the main house.
Yes.
On the previous season, what was it, Dirty 30 with the double cross? Is that the one with the Redemption House?
Yeah, Dirty 30. Yep.
Yeah. So in that one, you just had all the people in the Redemption House had one giant challenge together. Everyone participated in that challenge, and the best team would go back into the house. But on this season, it sucks because not everyone gets to compete. We don't get to see CT and Veronica compete. We don't get to see Angela and Faith compete. And Angela and Faith, they both look good when we've seen them compete. We don't get to see Tori and Derek compete. There's all these teams we don't get to see compete. It's just whoever Jose and Devon, because they pulled the double cross, they get to pick whoever they think is the weakest team to go against.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Because the challenge, okay, think about this. They're basically haunted by their own ambition. I don't know how else to word this, but basically they're like, hey, we were once known for changing up every season, which is correct, which is what made me want to promote the challenge in general, where I'm like, every fucking season, man, they changed it up. But eventually the challenge became, let's change it up within a season, within episodes, within minutes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just kept on, like, it's like they are compelled to constant evolution. You know what I mean?
They're constantly trying to add a twist.
Yes. Where a lot of times, yeah, there's no fucking need to continue to just twist or subvert expectations.
And you know what? To their own credit, they have not twisted really anything in this season. It's been pretty straightforward. They haven't like had a formula and then twisted it like they did with Bloodlines, where it was like you and your bloodline are a partner, and then suddenly we have a red team and a blue team, and then our bloodlines are on different sides, but if your partner gets sent home, then you get sent home even though you weren't in there. And then, okay, and now you're going to be back paired with your bloodline again at the end of the season. They're not doing that, which is good. because, and they've even done that with Champs versus Stars last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they switch up the teams and the alliances and all this stuff, and it makes a bunch of hokey nonsense out of it. They're not doing that, but they're screwing up with the Redemption House. I don't even really like that premise to begin with.
Yeah.
But because it draws out the season. This is episode 10 we're talking about, and normally a season goes to like episode 13 and it's over.
Yes.
But like we still have a long ways to go on this season, and we still have a ton of teams that are still in contention because they're still in that Redemption House, and they're messing with the Redemption House because like even though you went there, you're probably not even going to get a chance to actually go back into the main house because if you're going to do a Redemption House, at least make it so you can compete to go back into the house. But so many teams are unable to compete. So, I don't know. That's my rant. But, moving on with the episode.
Well, we just have to say goodbye to teams now because Jose and Devon, they choose Big Brother alumni Polly and Natalie, right?
Yeah.
So there goes Cece and Veronica. Like, that whole, like, trying to rebuild the relationship and stuff like that. It is moot. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I get it. Like, it was fascinating at the time, but, like, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's what sucks.
Yeah,
and
they don't get an opportunity to do anything.
Angela and Faith. All the shit that, like, Bananas said, like, Angela, she fucking, like, I pursued her. And any girl who hates Angela wishes that they were in her place.
Yeah.
They wish that they were getting the dick from Banana. You know what I mean?
Like, that probably wasn't his exact quote, but somewhere along that line.
But that's what Bananas was saying. He's like, oh, it was all. They're just jealous.
You
they
just hate her because you ain't her.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. He rhymed.
Yeah, he made it rhyme so that it makes it true.
Yeah.
If you say something and it rhymes, it's true. And Bananas is good at that.
Jesse Jackson style. Reverend Jesse Jackson, yeah.
And Johnny Cochran.
Yeah. If the glove don't fit,
you must acquit.
Yeah. And if there's a slit, you must fuck it. Or something like that.
I don't remember that line, but it sounds factually correct.
The stenographer picked that up, but no one else did. There you go.
Yeah, so like Tori and Derek, they're gone.
Tori and
Angela,
Derek is gone. Tori
other
just
team
like
I'm
pissing me
here?
off for being just so angry the entire time.
Yeah.
Is gone. Who else is gone? CT Veronica, Tori Derek, whatever. People
Angela
are
and
gone,
Faith.
right? Yeah. Let's move on to number 3. Scheming and dreaming. This is about Jose and Devon face Pauline and Natalie in the Pyramid Schemers. That's where
pyramid puzzle game.
Yeah,
that they have to compete in.
Yeah. Are you given like 3 minutes to solve a puzzle and then?
Yeah, it's like 3-minute rounds, and then you take turns. One team goes. It's like spinning in a circle or something, as if that matters.
The first person to solve both puzzles wins, and then Jose and Devon are given the choice to be first or second. Now, I would have said, "Hey, let them solve it, so then we could see what the puzzle is, and then I'll jump in and copy."
Anyone who has any experience with the challenge knows that you always choose to go second, so you can watch your competition do their strategy on how they solved it, and then you can take notes from that and do what they did right, and then kind of add your own thing to it and do it better. They chose to go. Jose decided, he just blurts out, "We want to go first," as if it was a smart thing to do. It wasn't the smart thing to do. However, it didn't come back to bite him because they did fine with the puzzle regardless. It was a little confusing to me because when I first heard the rules of this from TJ, it seemed to me like there's 4 sides to this pyramid. Each person from each team has a side of the pyramid. But we do end up seeing that you get to go and help, like, Jose and Devon finish one side of their pyramid, and then they only have the second side left. So on their second turn, once they got to that, both partners are on that second side. I thought it would just be like one teammate on this side, one teammate on this side. So like Jose finished his part, then it's just up to Devon to finish her part, or vice versa. And we see that with Paulie and Natalie. Paulie finishes his side on their second turn, then he goes to help Natalie on her side. And I'm like, what? It's 4 sides to a pyramid. Shouldn't it just be one person per one side? That's what I thought it was going to be. But they're able to like jump around and run to the other side, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It was interesting because the actual puzzle was on a platform, and that kept spinning. So that was kind of
interesting? Cool. Was it cool? Because I don't think it did anything.
It's like dangling keys in front of me, and we're like, oh, pretty and shit. I guess.
I don't think it distracted them at all. I don't think it did anything.
No, I disagree. I feel like that was a difference. Come on, man. Really? Like imagine you have to solve a puzzle and you have to jump on it, and then you're also presenting all the other solutions to everyone else watching. And remember, Jose and Devon, no one likes them. Everyone was helping Paulie and Natalie, of all people. Everyone was saying like, hey, Paulie, especially Bananas.
It was basically just Bananas, I feel like.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like it was just
I swept
Bananas.
Up with the Bananas punch?
Yeah, Bananas was just helping Natalie because Bananas is constantly trying to get laid by any girl and failing miserably. But he's still trying to help Natalie. And because Jose and Devon don't really... I don't know. It was weird because he's helping Natalie, but he also said at the same time, if Jose and Devon come back, I'm okay with that because alliance-wise, they're on his side. Like, they're going to vote together. Yeah. Because Bananas and Tony are going to vote with, like, basically like Cara Maria and Marie, because Cara Maria is friends with Bananas, Jose and Devon, but there's, Brad and Kyle, Zach and Amanda, Joss and Sylvia, they're all on the other side of that voting spectrum.
Sure.
But Bananas is just trying to get laid, I guess, and be nice to Natalie. But it was all for nothing because Natalie, she did not do well in the puzzle. Paulie seemed to do all right. He didn't do quite as good as Jose because Jose finished it on his first turn.
That's right. Yeah.
It took Paulie till the second turn to finish his. Tried to help out Natalie. Could not get that side completed. Natalie's biggest problem wasn't necessarily solving the puzzle. It was just flipping the cards over those the wire rings that the cards were on, and you had to flip them down.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw clips of her struggling, trying to flip it over, and she couldn't seem to get that. And it was maddening to watch. It was just like, there's 2 holes in the card. You need to slide it over the metal rings. Like, you remember, like, in a doctor's office or a dentist's office when you're a kid, those little fucking toys that they would have in the waiting room, where there's a bunch of little metal wires and you had the little beads and you would string them across.
Yeah.
Like, it's child's play. Like, her trying to flip one of those cards was impossible for Natalie to do. I don't know why, but it was. And, like, when it came to the puzzle, like, maybe she would have done fine at it, but she just couldn't flip the cards and she's just struggling with those that it slowed her down so much. Natalie is kind of disappointed again. In an elimination.
Was Paulie and Natalie straight up, because you're big brother, or Jose and Devon are like, holy shit, Paulie and Natalie are terrible. Let's vote our friends from Big Brother because we're going to win, and if they lose, or if we lose, we just stay in Redemption House, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both, because whoever loses goes back to the Redemption House. So they're ultimately still going to be an alliance. So say they do come back, you'll still be in an alliance with them. But I think it's really mostly about them thinking that Paulie and Natalie were the weakest team because Josie and Devon, to me, when I've looked at the way they've gone, they don't really go for teams that are necessarily the rival, but more necessarily like, hey, I think I can beat them. That's why they picked Cam and Kaylee, and it backfired on them.
Over the obvious choice of Shane and Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. A team they hate.
All right, let's get to number 4, Dip and Dine. This is the episode's mission. It's called Dunking for Dinner. You have to choose who's going to be dunked into the water and then pick bags with their teeth.
Yep. Drop them into the other little container that's right next to that.
Yeah.
Which,
And then,
I mean, this is all child's play, right? Because at the beginning of the episode, we saw Jose and Devon and Cam and Kaylee getting dunked into, like, this water. It's, like, freezing cold outside. It's probably, like, 40 degrees. They all have hypothermia. And then we see Jose and Devon versus Natalie and Paulie doing a puzzle. There's no water involved. That's easy. And then we see the other side of it, like people kind of slightly getting dunked into water, but not their entire body. Just sometimes their face or their head, which all of this was all way easier than what Cam and Kaylee and Devon and Jose had to do.
Right. But I also have to say, hey, guess what? We watched episode 9 and episode 10 back to back.
Yeah.
Had we not done that, would we not recognize that it's once again someone getting dipped into water? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's kind of a thing on the challenge. Like, there's always like a water element, like you're hung over water or you're doing something over water.
Mm.
But these were very similar into kind of like, hey, someone is controlling this giant pivot arm, and you can pull them up and down and over to maneuver your partner to transfer the bags from one side to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool challenge, but it just seemed very reminiscent of the other things we just watched. So I just had a correlation when I'm watching it. I'm like, well, this is similar but easier.
Yeah, I get that now. So we have an eating challenge, which we haven't had this entire season, I think.
Yes, and eating challenges are some of my favorites. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just...
Yeah, you like them way more than me. I'm like,
binge eating and throwing up, it's part of the challenge lore. Like, sometimes it's only, like, reserved for the finals.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, they'll put it into the main season, and it's great. And they've been doing it, I think they've been doing it pretty regularly in the main season portion. And
Yeah,
I like
lately.
that.
Yeah.
I like that they did this, because you get to, it's kind of a taste of the final, because the final always has some weird eating competition, and you get to see who's good at it and who's not.
Well, it's the eating plus the physicality of being dunked underwater, having to grab a bag with your mouth and shit. So I like the fact that this mission involved both players for two different reasons, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like that. But let's see here. The more bags you got, the more plates you had to eat under a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Let's just cut to the fact that Cara Maria and Marie had the least amount of bags, right?
Yep.
And it's a purge challenge. Did we not mention that?
Oh, no, we did not.
I don't think we did.
So whoever gets last place is going to the redemption house.
Mm. So, spoiler alert, Cara Maria versus Cam and Kaylee. Whoever eats 6 plates or 7 plates.
So Cara Maria, they only got 6 bags in. Cara Maria and Marie only got 6 bags in. So they can only eat from 6 plates.
Yeah.
Cam and Kaylee, they got 8 or 9, whatever the number was, plates. So they can eat from that many plates. But ultimately, as it gets down to the wire, Cam is having a difficult time eating plates. Cara seems to be having a better time eating the plates. But it's it seems, and it ends at a cliffhanger. We don't know who wins.
Yeah.
But it does seem like Kara was doing a better job with it. Kara's making jokes like, I had Kyle in my mouth, so this isn't that bad.
That was so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, remember when Cara Maria said, like, oh, there's girls looking up to me, right? She said something like that.
Oh, she always says that. Yeah.
No.
Because it's all about Kara.
No. She said it this season. But she was like, yeah, there's girls looking up to me. I can't be a little fucking bitch to some dude or whatever. Yet, when she's eating something awful, she's like, well, I had worse in my mouth. Kyle was right there.
It's kind of funny, though.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like taking away so much hurt and anger that she had with Kyle, because she's now joking about putting awful shit in her mouth with Kyle right there, and she's actually elbowing him.
But that's her flirting, because she's like, can I put it in my mouth again, please? Pretty please?
Yeah, that's her flirting. That's still, like,
right?
no selling all her anger and shit about it. You know what I mean?
For me, I was just annoyed by it, because I'm like, I already fucking heard that joke from Hunter and Ashley, and it was 10 times funnier.
That's true.
When Hunter said it, and Ashley was like, why, you know.
Yeah.
But, so, like, if you talk about, like, who did great in it, Hunter talks a lot of shit. He's like, I love doing eating challenges, and all I'm thinking is, like, shut the fuck up, Hunter. Like, you're going against Tony. Tony's gonna whoop your ass. But Hunter won, and, like, he finished all of his plates.
Oh my God, that's right.
And Hunter was like, I did it like a science. He's like, you can't just eat the egg sacs first because they're too dry. You have to eat the intestines first because they're moist. So you eat the intestines to moisten your mouth, then you eat the egg sac. He's like, I got it down to a science. And he fucking annihilated, got through it, and Hunter got first place. And I was like, damn. I'm like, Hunter never fucking disappoints in any kind of competition.
He doesn't. Yeah,
no.
That's right.
I'm a little bit bummed that he's paired with Ashley, because Ashley has some faults and some weaknesses.
Yeah. And they're not rivals, because this is, Final Reckoning is a Rivals ripoff, basically, right? Mm-hmm. It's an unwritten rule that this is Rivals. But the worst partnerships are exes. Tori, Derek, and now Ashley, Hunter. So it does suck, but hey, they're gonna make this work. So yeah.
So we don't totally know who wins at the end, but it does seem like Kara was in good spirits at the end of it.
Yeah.
And we hear like TJ's counting down. He's like, all right, 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2. And like Cam and like Kaylee has this look on her face. And that's kind of what sold it to me, what was going to happen. Like Kaylee was just like, oh, fuck, there's no way we're going to win. We see Cam has like, I think at least 6 or 7 plates that are still filled with food.
Yeah.
Cara Maria, it looks like she's been eating food the entire time. She's bounced around. She's looking loose. Cara looks like she's doing awesome at it. She's eating all this gross food. Cam doesn't look like she's really having it that much and is not doing as well. Even though we don't know, like unofficially, it seems to me that Cam and Kaylee are going to lose and end up in the Redemption House.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to wait until next week to get the final ruling on it.
And you've watched the, half-season trailer or whatever?
Yeah, they had a trailer that...
And you said, spoiler...
I said, Vince, do you want to watch this? Because it's going to spoil everything.
And I said, no. So, I ask you, do you think the season picks up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think it does.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Well, I will just say... No, I'm not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
But, as you can tell, the teams that have been eliminated are probably, for the most part, all the worst teams. I think the best teams are still there. You still have Joss and Sylvia, a team that I picked to win it in the end because I'm like, they're a dark horse. They're both a couple of newbies, but they're both really strong. You have Kyle and Brad, Bananas and Tony, and Amanda and Zach. And those are the 4 teams that I feel like are the best teams. They're all still in it. And a lot of the worst teams are kind of been weeded out at this point.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah.
I feel like even though we've gone a weird, awkward way to get there, the best teams are still there. The worst teams are going out of there. So now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of the challenge, and I feel like, I don't know. I'm hoping that the Redemption House kind of just makes an exit at some point. It isn't, because somebody's going to go back there and they're going to put more people in there. But I really wish they would just end it, and then just from now on, just go like, if you're out, you're out. Because this is going to be the good part of the challenge here.
Like
this next
they did
5
to
episodes.
Wes and X's 2, where they're
exactly.
like, "Hey, you were eliminated. Everyone gets a second chance, but you."
Yeah,
so.
because we ended that Redemption House, so now that chance is over.
And then we're gonna bring it back for a second to bring back your partner, Nani, whatever.
Nanny. Yeah. But it also, in that the preview for the next part of the season, Vince, you haven't watched it, there was tons of spoilers in it.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it on slow motion, kind of going like, at an eighth of a second. Just kind of like watching and seeing all the things. You see tons of eliminations, tons of people in eliminations. You see people who get sent to the Redemption House. You get to see a couple of different fights. If you watched it closely, you will know whether Cam or Cara Maria won at the end of this episode.
No.
I know.
Come on.
I think I know. At least I think I know.
All right.
I'm not 100% positive because you don't actually see that person in the Redemption House, but you kind of see a person that a certain person is a rival of, and they're in the Redemption House and they're angry. So I'm like, well, I'm assuming that they're angry with the person that they're usually angry with.
Yeah.
You can kind of do that mental math with that. It does spoil a lot, but it was it kind of made me hopeful for the ending of this season. I think this season's it's had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think the biggest fault to this season so far has probably been the Redemption House and how it's kind of a momentum killer, and how the people in the Redemption House don't even get a fair shake at getting back into the game. Like, why are we giving them so much camera time, like CT and Veronica, if they don't even get a shot to get back in the house?
Yeah.
So, like, if they're not coming back in the house, then just let them go. Don't give us a bunch of camera time of them mending fences when it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah, the show is still flawed. I will not deny that. There's a reason why I've only had this is the 10th episode, and I've maybe made 4 podcasts so far. So, yeah. But you know what? Hopefully it picks up.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah?
I think it is.
Judging from the trailer, yeah.
From the trailer, and the fact that the best teams are still there. So the interesting shit is about to go down. You know?
All right. Well, I guess I'll tune in. So, yeah, there you have it. That was episode 9 and episode 10 of Final Reckoning with Vincent Cloud and
Hardcore Dave.
Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast, and fucking tune in for the next episode whenever it fucking happens. Bye.